Okay, so this is my video tutorial of how to get a wooden floorboard effect cake board. It's really quick and easy. I've started out just by covering my board with some light brown fondant. It doesn't even all have to be mixed in because that just adds to the wood grain effect. I'm going to rush a bit here, but basically all I do is, you can measure it if you want to be a bit more precise than I am. I measure out where my floorboards are going to be and go from side to side. Make sure your ruler's big enough because mine isn't. And then just put the impressions in there for my floorboards. Give it a bit of a wiggle so that they're nice and wide. I'll probably get another one and a bit in. That can be the back of the cake. There we go. And then I just use the ruler the same, just to kind of create some different lines going the other way. That gives you a floorboard effect. I try not to go in the middle because then it'd be a bit too much like brickwork. So I'll just carry on doing that again. I'm rushing, sorry. A bit wonky, that one. We're going for the vintage floorboard look. There we go. And that will do. That's probably more than I would normally do anyway. I'm just going to clean up those horizontal lines. Then I'm going to take my Dresden tool, and on some of these I'm just going to do like a kind of a knot in the middle, which kind of looks like an eye. And then when we come to do the wood grain, which are all hand drawn on, that just gives us something to contour the lines around. It makes it look a bit more realistic. Little one there. Okay, and then all you have to do is use your Dresden tool, kind of vary the depth that you go in at. Try and go to the edge of your floorboards. I don't continue across them because they wouldn't. I'm all about the realism. I think we'll speed this bit up because this will be a bit boring. Okay, so I've finished doing that. As you can see around the knots, I've kind of made the lines follow that a bit, but again, wood isn't neat, so you don't have to be. And then I've just kind of run my finger over it. If any of the lines cross over your wooden joins, just clear those out again. Okay, so next step, I'm going to take a dry paintbrush, just a little one, and dip it in my, this is chestnut brown, but it doesn't really matter so long as it's darker than your fondant. I'm just going to give a dab around the knots in the wood. Each one not being neat, and then again really roughly just go down each join. Don't worry about how it looks just now. Because it's all going to change. Don't worry if you go over the lines like I just did. What we're going to do next is going to fix that. There we go. So in case you thought I was a hardened drinker with the vodka sitting there, that's actually for the next step. I'm going to get my wider brush and dip it in the vodka. Just give it a bit of a dry on the back of my hand so it's not too wet, and then just actually try a bit more. Brush over the knots. And we're just trying to get that darker brown colour to settle in the knots of the wood. You can just, as the brush gets dry, just start to go over. And as you can see, we're still not being too neat because there's still another step or two to go yet. So don't worry if it gets messy, or you can see brush marks, or that's all going to change. I'm just going to put some darker stuff over those knots there. So on the bits where it's a bit darker, I'm just going to clean my brush a bit, put some more vodka on it, and then dry it again on the back of my hand. And then I'm just going to sweep straight left to right. Vodka, she says. And then we're just going left to right. A bit more. Left to right. So you're just kind of cleaning up those deliberate brush marks that you made. So you can see it's already taking shape there. Make sure you go all the way to the edge. You can hear my bored husband. He's filming this.
My arms are aching.
So we're nearly done, husband. And a bit more vodka again. I say that a lot. Right, so there we go. So if you don't have an airbrush, you can stop there and maybe add some more brown with your dry brown brush into the knots, and it will spread out. I'm lucky enough to have an airbrush that my dad got me. I'm by no means an expert. I think I've used it about 6 times. I'm just going to pop some brown in, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to prop this up, just so it's easier to work with. And then I'm just going to follow the lines of the floorboards really close up. If you have time, I would leave your vodka to dry before you did this. I go around the edge as well. And then I'll just give a little flash in each of those knots. And then to finish off, I'll just do quick zigzags so there's no kind of even colour. And there we go. Okay, and what I forgot to show you was I'm putting the nails in my floorboards. And I'm just using a balloon stick just because that's the right kind of diameter. But if you wanted smaller, or if you have bigger piping nozzles, you can also just use the end of a piping nozzle there. So now you've finished your cake board.